Hey there, and welcome to the latest episode of the Mind Body Health Podcast with myself, Dave Sheahan, high performance consultant and dedicated for over 25 years now to educating, motivating, and inspiring people just like you in regaining control of all areas of your life, in particular the mind, body, and health area of your life, because that is the area that has the most catalytic and biggest impact on all areas of your life. When you've control of the mind, body, and health, everything else will just automatically improve. Your mind is the control tower. Mind and body are connected. How you feel, confidence, self-esteem, self-image are so important. So it's really important for you to get control of that area. Welcome to this latest episode. It's been a while since the last episode. I have taken a little bit of a break from it, gathering my thoughts, think about what I want to do with the podcast and other projects moving forward. And I'm excited about where things are going, and I hope you've enjoyed all the episodes up to this point. Your feedback has been fantastic. Thank you for sharing, the podcasts across all the different platforms, and your comments and your feedbacks and your ratings and reviews, and keep them coming. Again, I set up the Mind Body Health Podcast with the sole goal of making a positive impact on people all over the world. It was another tool for me to use to get messages out there, to educate people on the facts, because the thing is, there has never been a time when there's been more information available. Unfortunately, probably about 90% of the information available is absolute garbage and not true, and is misleading, and also is backed by marketing and so on by big industries. So, there's ulterior motives and a lot of the stuff that's out there. And that's what I aim to clear up on these podcasts. And it's up to you what you do with it. At the end of the day, when you get information, you then can make an informed decision. I can say things and you can think, yeah, it makes sense, and follow it. You can do your own research in it, or you might think that sounds like a load of garbage. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's your decision. But my goal and my aim and my role is to purely just share information with you, and it's up to you then what you do with that. So that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm going to do. And in this particular episode, I want to literally ask you a question. Do you genuinely not realize the poisoning and that you are doing to you and your kids' bodies, if you have kids, that is, or loved ones or whoever? Do you truly not realize the way you're poisoning yourself? Because we're living in a time now where people are literally being poisoned. And yes, a lot of people don't know about it. Yes, there's people who just turn a blind eye to it. Yes, there's lots of people who actually don't care about it. They just want to live crappy lives, because for them, doing things that are not serving their mind and their body and their health and longevity and energy and how their skin looks, even all those kind of things don't really matter. The more interesting the kind of short-term kick, short-term, whatever you want to call it, satisfaction, temporary satisfaction to get from the crap that they're consuming. Now, I'm talking a lot about food and liquids here, but I feel that surely, I hope that for most people who are living terrible lifestyles, that they're not realizing what they're doing, that they're just blindly trusting industries, that they're blindly trusting the industries have their best interests at heart. I really hope that, because if you're listening to this podcast and you consume some of the products I'm going to go through, and you consume them on a regular basis, and even worse, you feed your kids these things, I have no words, because for me, it's a disgrace. If you truly understand how bad these things are, yet you still continue to consume them for yourself and your kids, it's a disgrace. You're literally poisoning yourself, and you're poisoning your kids, who are meant to be the most precious things in your life. And that's unforgivable. For me, that's unforgivable. Now, for a person themselves, it might be they're in a bad place. It's all about comfort. It's in a dark place and just not giving a shit anymore, not caring about themselves, just in a really dark place, and reaching out, just doing all the stuff that are self-destruct, and they're damaging for themselves and so on. Now, that is a different area altogether, okay? Because people do self-destruct when you're in a bad place, consuming the wrong things, doing the wrong things, bad behaviors, so on. That happens, okay? But I'm talking with the general population. If you're one of the people who there's nothing majorly wrong in your life, you're not in a very, very dark place, but you're making wrong choices. I want you to have a serious, talk with yourself, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why are you actually doing this to yourself? I want you to really have a good conversation with yourself. Now, I put up a post the other day regarding McDonalds and Jamie Oliver and court cases. And I was basically, my main point was that, people who are feeding themselves and feeding their kids this type of garbage, inverted commas, food, because it's not food. They're poisoning their bodies. And a lot of it's down to just not being willing to just put the effort into cooking good, healthy meals. It's just down to convenience. It's just down to laziness. But like I said, there are some people who actually think it's okay. They will actually think the McDonald's is okay. or Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Pringles or all the convenience food that's out there, all the confectionery that's out there, even all the supplements are out there, all the alcohol that's out there, all these kind of things. They actually think that these things are okay. They actually believe that when things are said as a health product, that 100% that's definitely a health product. Well, the reality is when you go into the health food store, there's a lot of that stuff and there's absolute garbage. It may be a little better, some of it, than in the supermarket, but a lot of it is not. A lot of it's misleading. You go in, you assume it's all healthy because it's in a health food store. But what you need to do is you need to start learning ingredients. You need to start learning what the back of the packet says and what that means. Because for too many people, they're sold by the front. It's like Special K. Front of the packet, there's one with a perfect curvy figure in a red swimsuit, and they even have a diet attached with the Special K diet and all these great results. You're marketed that. That's what people want. People go grab it because that's what they want. Read the back of the packet, look at ingredients, you'll get to see what absolute garbage and poor lack of nutrition is in this product. It is absolute garbage, like box cereals in general. So you're being sold, marketed to with a front, which is stopping you looking at the back or even being conscious of the back. You need to start learning about labels. You need to start learning what's in products, what's in ingredients, okay? It's like a can of Coke. 12 spoons of sugar, 12 spoons of sugar. How many cans of Coke do you have in a day? Now, how many cans of Coke do you have in a week, in a month, in a year? What about your kids? How many are you giving to your kids? How many are you allowing them to have? 12 spoons of sugar per can. Think how small a can is. Think how big the bottles are. How many of them are you having? That's 12 spoons of refined sugar. If it was normal, proper, good, original sugar, it would still not be good because it's too much. But the fact that you're fine makes it even worse. It's like heroin shots to your body, driving your insulin levels through the roof. When your insulin levels are unstable and all up and down and all over the place, it's only going to lead to fat storage. It's going to lead to increased chance of disease. It's going to lead to a more acidic nature in an environment inside your body. Why are you doing this to yourself? Same as energy drinks. Same idea. Salt on energy. You get energy. So people are lacking energy. But why are they lacking energy? Poor dietary choices, lack of exercise, lack of sleep, not working their mindset, not getting enough fresh air, not getting enough sunshine, not having enough fun in their lives, so many different aspects and possibilities here. But what I do, I just have an energy drink. Like where people got hooked on 10 cups of coffee a day. These do not serve the purpose of improving your lifestyle, do not serve the purpose of longevity, not serve the purpose of real proper energy, do not serve the purpose of you looking healthy and feeling healthy and just fighting disease and all these things. They're all increasing your chance of diseases. This is why the world is in a place where there's never been more diseases. They're increasing all the time at a time when we're meant to know more and more. There's meant to be more and more investment. But why are things not improving? Why are they not improving? It's as simple as this. Disease is an industry. It makes lots of money. Connect to the pharmaceutical industry, connect to the medical industry. It's like a conveyor belt. Now you can deny that and want to not believe it, but right along the chain, people are making so much money. So much money. There is no interest in terms of the globe, in the world. There is no interest in healthy people. Healthy people don't make any money for anyone. Like me, how much money have I made? The food, in terms of the bad elements of the food industry, the supplement industry, the medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, disease industry. How much money have I made any of those, or like even throwing the diet and fitness industry? How much money have I made any of those in the last 20-something years? Minimal to zero, depending on which industry we're talking about. I haven't had one bit of medication in my body, must be at least 20 years now, must be even longer even. No supplements for, I'd say 12, 13 years. And I rarely eat any processed food. I've been vegan for 12 years, so no meat, no animal products, which again is another industry, no dairy for those 12, 13 years. So these are all industries who market, like with the dairy, it's good for your bones, all the calcium, everything. The reality is super acidic. It's not good for your bones. It takes calcium from your bones. It actually is a reason why there's so much bone disease out there. So the dairy industry is lying to you. It's so different than all you hear constantly about protein. You need so much protein. You need to eat loads of meat. You need to take loads of protein shakes. That's the food industry, the meat industry, and the supplement industry lying to you. Because you don't need that much protein. Protein is not that important. When have you ever heard of someone with a protein deficiency? It just does not happen. You've never heard of it, I'm sure. It just does not happen. It's near impossible unless you starve yourself. Yet you're constantly bombarded with you need the protein, you need the meat from the meat industry, same from the food industry, and same from the supplement industry in terms of protein shakes and all the other products that they have. We need to start seeing beyond the marketing. You need to start seeing beyond it. You need to start educating yourself. You need to start waking up to stuff. You need to start get away from denial, because a lot of people just blindly follow things and just live in total denial. You need to stop doing that. It's not serving you. And, on top of all of that, they say this, let's pick even the meat. It's all raised fine and healthy and kills humanely and all this kind of stuff. Well, what about all the growth hormones that are pumped in incessantly? What about all the antibiotics that are pumped into animals incessantly? Because they don't want them getting sick, and they're all so close together. They're going to get sick in diseases on a regular basis. What about all the waters being pumped into chickens and pigs and so on to make them bigger? It's all about getting out size. What about steroids? To make them bigger so they make more money. So they grow faster, they grow bigger, so they can make more and more of them. They can make more and more profit throughout the year. So even just from a health point of view, that's why I tell people to get off meat and animal products, because what's in them, what you're consuming, is just so bad for your health. And that'll feed your brain and your body and everything. 20% of calories you eat go to your brain. So, depending on what you're putting in, you're either feeding your brain what will help it, or you're feeding your brain what definitely will not help it. It's like, look at all the confectionery that's out there. Like, do you know what's in jellies? You take any typical conventional jellies, gelatin. Do you know what gelatin actually is? Gelatin is basically boiled down bones, animal bones, and whatever is left over after basically the animal has been stripped of all meat off it. So whatever's left in the abattoir, floor, that is what is put into it. It's boiled down bones and guts and all other kind of disgusting stuff. And they put into this fancy packaging, fancy shapes, loads of artificial sweeteners and sugars put into them so they taste good, whatever way to make the texture nice. And people say, oh, lovely jellies. But you're literally eating bones. You're eating boiled down bones and all the other shit that they put into it as well. Is that making sense? But the industry will not tell you these things. The products will not tell you these things. The front of the packets will look amazing. Now, what do you think that's doing to your body? Now, I'm not saying to never, ever eat something that you would consider a treat. I'm not saying that. I don't believe in cutting things out completely. Apart from if you make choices like I did, cutting out dairy, cutting out all meat products, cutting out all animal products for more reasons than just health, for animals, for planet, for all kinds of different things, but my health being the most important thing, because that's what matters most to me. I care about how I look. I want to be the healthiest I can be. I want to look as fresh and young as I possibly can. I want to be as energetic as I can. I want to perform as well as I can in my training and get the best results. I want to be the best role model I can for someone. I want to be there for my son as much as I can for as long as I can and be a good role model. I want to live a long life, independent life. I want to be full of energy and so on. So that's what determines my choices. And that's why I will not support any of these industries, because they don't support me in my goals. So why would I support them in their profit goals? Because that's all they have, profits. Like I said, with diseases, you can take whether it be cancer or any of these things. Why do we still not have cures for these things? Billions and billions and billions are supposedly invested in research into these things. Why do we still not have cures? What money will that make? Do you know how much a chemotherapy treatment costs, or one has to pay, what value is put on it? It's an enormous, same as radiation, same as all the different treatments. They're industries. They're not about making people better. They're about just keeping people alive as long as possible and repeat things and more and more money. It's all about money. It's the sad reality of the world. And it's like, let's go back to what I said initially, which is, about McDonald's, which is, people are going to McDonald's and KFC and Burger King, and every country has its own versions. Like here in Ireland, we've got Supermacs and Hungry Lions. Everywhere has these versions of fast food. You can't truly believe that food is good food, do you? Do you truly believe it's good food? You can't. Like, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that people don't actually believe it's good food, because it's absolute crap. It's the lowest quality of food, and then cooked really badly. So it's not just bad food, it's really low quality. It's got tons of bad fats, and it's not cooked in good fats. It's cooked in the cheapest, crappiest oils. So you're getting all of that. They're all at high temperatures, which is very carcinogenic. So you're putting so much bad stuff into your body. Do you not care about your body? Do you not care about your mind? Remember, your brain consumes 20% of the calories you consume. Do you not care about your children's health and their longevity and their energy and everything about them? Because if we take McDonald's, that is not food. People will consider food. They go, I'll go have dinner at McDonald's, or to get lunch or whatever. It's not food. There's 3 things I tell people to never consume. And I mean never. You should never consume McDonald's, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, Pringles. They are poisons. And they're 100% poisons. There's many other things too, but they would be 3 I would pick out as being the worst. That I would never, ever allow anyone I care about to consume. Like McDonald's, 100% beef, should say 100% cow. Have you noticed the color of the patty? in terms of the burger. It's grey. Why is it grey? Since when did beef look grey? Beef always looks brown, doesn't it? It's because it's some part of the cow. Who knows what the hell part of the cow it is? So 100% cow would be a lot more accurate. The chicken, they make their own chickens, grow 3 breasts, 4 breasts, whatever, like freaky chickens, pumped full of water and everything. The chips, it's like a tray. It's like with shapes of chips. It's, the squeezy thing for the cream to put on top of buns that are in bakers. It's like that. It's a substance. And they basically fill these holes, throw in the oven, and then there's those shapes. Is that how you make chips? That's not how I make chips. Doesn't make sense if that's chips. Apple turnovers, or whatever the hell they call it in McDonald's. No apple in it. It's turnip. Why? Because turnip's cheaper. How does it taste like apple then? Well, they use artificial sweeteners that are tasting like apple. So it's turnip with apple flavors, and it's deep fried for 23 minutes. Deep fried for 23 minutes. Have you ever noticed how hot the damn thing is? I remember as a kid, rare time my mother used to bring us in there. She used to go in there, and then we used to be in there as well with her, and she'd have an apple turnover. I'll never forget taking a bite of it one day, and nearly burnt the damn mouth off me. It was so hot. And it wasn't until I had friends who worked at McDonald's who were McDonald's addicts at the time, but once they were there a month or so, they never ate it again, because they got to see the reality of what this inverted commas food is. The same goes for all fast food. Now, I'm not saying never ever have a McDonald's. I would personally never have a McDonald's. I would never want a loved one to have a McDonald's. But if you decide to have it occasionally as a treat, that's okay. But if you're having it even weekly or a few times a week, that's not good. And you should not be giving it to your kids. It's literally poisoning your body. Like, you poison your body by making it toxic, and you make it very acidic. These are the kind of things that do that, because there's no food value. We're designed to eat food. We're designed to put food into our mouth, which would be fresh fruits and vegetables as a big part of it, and then grains and seeds and so on. Ideally organic and not treated, not full of chemicals and crap that most of our food is in. Unfortunately, these kind of things are very expensive, so not everyone can afford it, but at least you can wash your food and buy the best sources you can. But anyway, that goes into your body, goes into down your esophagus, into your stomach breaks it down, the nutrients are taken out, they're put wherever they're meant to be in the body, the fiber then is flushed out through our excretory system. The fiber is there to bring in the nutrients and keep the sugar release slow. That's why when you hear people say fruit's bad for you, that's garbage. The fiber is maintaining the sugar levels at a certain level. That's why it's important not to juice. It's important to do smoothies, because in juicing, you're taking out the fiber. So it's literally like a heroin shot straight into your body. So it's better to always smoothies over juices. Okay. And let's go on to that even. Like a lot of juices and smoothies that you see in the shops, and you assume, oh, this is really good stuff. It's a smoothie or juice. This is healthy. Again, read the packet. What is actually in it? A lot of time it'll just be something like concentrated apple juice and then a few other things. So there isn't actually a lot of stuff in it. It's like, even I heard a podcast the other day about a guy who was a turmeric company, and he shocked me, looked at the other turmeric products on the market, like turmeric shots, and there's 90 to 98% apple juice. It's meant to be turmeric. Excuse me. So, they use fillers. They sell it on the front. It says one thing, but the reality, what's in the product, is something very different. So you have to start reading labels. How you read a label is the first product on it is what there's most of. The second product is what there's most of, and so on. So if the first thing on it is sugar, for instance, that's not good. Or you have other products where it might be water, 90%, which means whatever it's meant to be, there isn't a lot of anything in it. It's mainly water with whatever stuff added to it. But you want to watch out for the different types of artificial sugars, especially, and all the bad fats, and then all the E's and all the chemicals and artificial sweeteners. So look, you need to start living consciously. Start living consciously about what you're feeding your body and what you're feeding your kids and feeding your loved ones, because we are literally poisoning ourselves, and it makes no sense to do so, especially for consciousness. Now, there are many people who are oblivious that genuinely think that McDonald's and all these other fast food outlets are okay. They honestly think that, eating loads of confectionery and cakes and biscuits and all that isn't too bad every so often, or on a regular basis. I mean, they think energy drinks are okay. They think Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all these other soft drinks are okay. They're not that bad. No, the marketing makes you think that, if you genuinely believe that. The reality, they are terrible. They're so bad for you. So you need to break away from what's being marketed to, and you start seeing the reality. And the reality is that these things are poisoning your body. So you need to stop poisoning your body. I would eliminate, or at least keep to the very minimum, McDonald's and associated type fast food outlets. Coca-Cola and soft drinks, poison. Energy drinks, unbelievable poison, and dangerous because of what's in them. Really, really dangerous. Confectionery and all those kind of processed food goods, like biscuits and cakes and ice creams and all those kind of things, can keep to the bare minimum. processed food in general. Like when you're so like Weight Watchers and all these, they have all their meals. And while they're better than something, they're still nothing like what they're marketed as. They're marketed as being like really, really healthy. No, they're not. How do you think they're preserved like that? There's a lot of crap in them. Again, read the ingredients. Read the ingredients. Like, to be a big difference between those meals and, let's say, a Happy Pear meal, if you know of the Happy Pear twins in Ireland. If you look at their ingredients, it's all natural food. It's actual food that's in their products. Whereas most of these other convenience ready-made meals, there's food in it. Not a lot though, and a lot of crap. So we have to start learning to read labels, okay? And we need to stop poisoning ourselves. We are poisoned in so many ways. We're surrounded by so much electromagnetic frequency. We're surrounded by technology which gives off radiation. Our water, or drinking water from our taps, is full of fluoride, chlorine, and loads of different chemicals. That's slowly poisoning us. This is what's happened to society. Society is getting poisoned, and you can see it in how dumb some people are and the behaviors they have and the way they carry on. And we can see it in all the different diseases and conditions that are growing all the time. Like, look at autism. Where's autism come from? No, autism wasn't really there 20, 30 years ago. Now it's growing at a rapid rate. Why do you think these things are happening? You know, same as cancer, same as everything. No industry has an interest in your health. Get that into your head. Not one of them. And that includes cancer industry, medical industry, pharmaceutical industry. They do not want you healthy. Healthy people make no money. Cancer is an industry. I know that might sound shocking. I know you might find it hard to believe. It is an industry. Look how much money it makes. Look how much money is invested supposedly in curing cancer, and then look how much money cancer actually makes, and look at the figures of the rates of cancer all over the world. They're going up and up and up and up all the time. Does that make sense? When it's a lifestyle disease, which for every disease is a lifestyle disease, because we all have the cells that can be triggered, you know. We all have the cells that can be triggered to become cancer cells. It just depends on our lifestyle. You know, we have to see what way our lifestyle is. Our lifestyle determines everything. Okay. So bottom line, get focused on decreasing the level of poisoning you're doing in your body, and start consuming more whole food, real proper food, because that's what matters. That's what you need. You need to get real food into your body, nourish your body, because that is what will give you longevity. That's what will help you prevent diseases. That is what will give you even some things like healthy skin, healthy eyes, healthy brain, energy, all these different things. Okay. So stop poisoning yourself, stop poisoning your kids, stop poisoning your loved ones. I hope this has helped you. Some of it may have shocked you. Some of it you may not believe. I hope you do believe, because it's fact. If you want to question Aiton, or throw Aiton at me, or add Aiton to Aiton, I've said, just contact me anywhere across social media, or on email, or a contact page on my website, davesheahanhighperformance.com. Here to help any way I possibly can. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Make sure you leave a rating and review. Share this podcast out with anyone, because it's important information. And take care. Keep your suggestions coming. And hope this helps. Let me know, and look forward to speaking to you on the next podcast. Have a good one.